to another episode. My name is Dean Vass. You can find me on X at hashtag Kangas, Instagram hashtag Kangaroos podcast. Tonight, I'll welcome to the show the two-pronged attack, I should say, of Cooper Trembath and Nick Larkey in the future of 2026. Mark, hello, and Jesse, welcome to the show, boys. We are here to review the game against the Giants this weekend in Canberra. I don't think we'll go too much into the game. I think it's getting to that time of year where we're trying a few different things and a few different players as well. And we certainly will talk about some of them, particularly an individual who did debut and dominate over the weekend. Maybe dominate's a bit of a strong word, but he did certainly show some good signs. But Mark, I haven't had you on for a few weeks. Your thoughts on the game, a 54-point loss, but probably I didn't think it was too bad. We had a very inexperienced team, not to make too many excuses though.
Yeah, I thought the highlight in terms of the performance overall was that they didn't fall away after half-time when it could have blown out, and it would have been a very, very tough press conference for Clarkson had that been the case. So I was thinking I'm not even going to watch the second half, and then I thought I'll watch it for a while and see how we go. And then they were competitive, so I ended up watching the whole, pretty much the whole of the second half. So I was happy with that. That said, it's sort of not a great performance, but not a horrible one, which is we're coming from a bit of a low base these days. So it's hard to get too excited. But, yeah, look, it could have been a lot worse. And they did have a crack. So credit to them and the coaching group from that perspective.
Jesse, I know you're typing frivolously away on the keyboard, making a bit of noise, maybe checking out the Costanti job that he did on Lockie Ash. I'm not too sure, Jesse, what you're doing there, but any
Is it better now, mate?
Yeah, no, all good, mate.
Sorry, mate. I was trying to find a video highlight of Cooper Trembath's third goal because all I can find is his first and second, and I'm a bit disappointed because his third was his best.
Oh, it was a good mark, wasn't it?
Oh, mate. What can we say about him? I'll talk all day about him. That was the best debut since Harry Sheezel, and probably even better.
Mark, Jesse's very excited about Cooper Trembath. Let's just start opening it all up. He's a saviour of the club.
Well, he's no Finbar Malley, but he's a good player. No, I think that is the most exciting debut we've had for a while. I mean, to kick 3 goals in your first game when you're playing club footy, at the start of the year, albeit they were probably hiding him in club footy, to be fair, because they were scared someone else would pick him up. But, yeah, it looks, I mean, considering the dearth of key forwards we've had to help Nick Larkey, to have someone come and do that and look competitive in the air. And I thought the other debutant was pretty good in the air as well, although he didn't quite clunk the marks, but he was certainly getting involved in the air a lot. Was Georgie Payne. So that was positive from both of them from an effort perspective. But yeah, Trembath, the fact he can take marks and he's good below his knees, and he's got some athletic traits as well. He's quite quick on the lead and he's got a big leap. I think, yeah, there's good signs for the future for sure.
He's come a long way, it's fair to say, Jesse, from 10 weeks, in the space of 10 weeks, playing for Blackburn. Played one game in the VFL and he looked very strong in that game against. I remember that game against Brisbane. Took some really good marks, but he struggled with his kicking. But I thought yesterday his kicking was quite solid at goals. I mean, he kicked 3 goals too. It seems like it's something he's really worked on. And if he keeps showing this sort of rapid improvement, then we've got Wayne Carey 2.0 in 12 months' time.
Oh, his contested marking is something else, isn't it? It's a fantastic.
He's got a great set of hands,
and his leap is enormous. He was worrying the best defender in the competition in the air. Like the first one, he dragged his arm down, really worried him, and then 2 huge marks and almost took a third massive clunk. He's a huge contested mark. He just needs to make sure that he delivers on his kicking. But I mean, he's really worked on that action. Absolutely, he's really worked on that action. And even that one, the one that he really missed, he was a fair way. It was a decent kick. He was a bit further out. Look, ultimately, I think I like how he got his goals. The first one, free kick, worried his opposition. The second one, out the back, showed a bit of manoeuvrability, which is good. You just don't want, a Callum Collin Jones type who can't move. So he's able to mark the ball. He's able to move He's got some decent agility. And then on the third one, he showed his marking prowess. So, he can mark, he can worry the opposition, he can leap. He's got a lot of natural attributes. You can see why the club took him. It was very, very impressive. Again, against probably the best defender in the league. And, he'll only get easier from this, is what he should be telling himself in terms of, in terms of that. And once Larky comes back into the team, obviously, not this year, but and after getting a preseason into him with a bit more strength in the gym and some actual conditioning, although North's development might make him worse, it'll be much easier.
What height is he?
He's about 193, 194,
Yeah,
something like that.
Jack Darling. Jack
Good
Darling.
size.
Yeah, about the same height as him. So,
Well, he's 191. I think he's a bit taller than him.
He's maybe he looks more tall, like more lankier, a little bit more height.
I think it is worth giving Jack Darling though a chop out there in terms of the 3 goals too for Jack, because he had a very good game. I mean, he could have easily kicked 5 goals, and it was his. He had to stand in with Larky injured effectively. It was pretty much him and. Forget about Bryn Teakle. I don't want to talk about him, but no disrespect to him. He was great ruckman while Sherry was away. He did his job, but he's not forward and shouldn't have been playing. But
No.
Effectively, Jack had to do that by himself with a first gamer. And the fact that they were able to kick 6 goals, 3 between them is pretty immense against a very, very good defense.
I'm not sure I'd be offering Aliir $900,000 a year.
Oh, I wouldn't be offering him half of that.
I can't believe
Saints
that's
are
being
mad.
considered. Yeah, that's just lunacy.
The fact the Saints are going to offer 1.8 million at TDK, and then whatever the heck they're offering Aliir when they've got,
Well, they're going to lose. They're going to lose
when they've got Wanganeen, who's worth the same amount of money as both of them put together. It's silly. It's very silly, but I can't comment on the Saints. I mean, they barely got up over the Tigers after barely getting up over us. So I don't think they're a great team, and they don't have a lot of injuries other than Max King. I understand he's good, but anyway, not here to shit on the Saints. There's no point when we're losing by 50 points, I suppose. But it's not about that this week, boys. It's about Cooper Tremba 3 goals, and Geordie Payne even got a goal. And I thought he worked his way into it. Someone said it really well. He just obviously walking into the AFL, bigger bodies. He's a tackler by his, he still laid the 3 tackles.
It was an almost game from him.
Yeah. He could have really. He was. Yeah. You could tell he was nervous. But he did some good, nice things. And he worked his way into it.
He's got an uncanny ability to get his hands to the ball in the air in marking contests. So he reads the ball really well in the air. So he's going to be an awkward matchup. If he can get it together, because he's going to be dangerous in the air, because they're going to match him up with a small defender, and he'll outmark them every time because he's very good in the air. But he just didn't quite. He almost marked about 3 or 4, and just missed a few tackles, like you said. But he wasn't far away. I think that wasn't a bad debut at all.
No, I've seen a lot worse. That's for sure. He's a player that once he gets more comfortable in the AFL system, he'll bring his attitude with him as well.
It was a good mark he took as well. Mark is absolutely right. He's got a good pair of hands on him for someone of his height, and ultimately his pressure was good. I would persist with him in the team. Someone has to tell me who our better option is as a small defensive forward. I know we're going to talk about Castanti, but who's a better option as a small defensive forward at the moment? Because how many small defensive forwards got on our list?
Well, it's got to be him or Constanti. They both won't play on the same side. They might this week, but ongoing down the track, I can't see that happening. They won't play Constanti, Curtis, and Payne in the forward line. So Constanti will.
No, I tend to agree.
So I think they should definitely keep Payne on the list, but he'll have to compete with Constanti for that spot, I guess.
Well, I don't think he brings anything less to the team than Constanti does. So, but to me, it's been a bit strange that Constanti's played every game this year. I know you mentioned off air, Jesse, that he kept Lockie Ash to his last disposals in 24 months or something like that. But I think it's one of the easiest positions to play if you're going to be a tagger, is to tag a halfback flanker. I mean,
Mm.
yeah, because it's just common sense.
Well, Kane
In that
Turner
way.
made a career out of it.
Well, yeah, Paul Puopolo did it as well for Hawthorn. He did it with great success, but Paul
He would have
Puopolo
averaged.
kicked goals.
He kicked goals, yeah.
Yeah,
In
Cassetti hasn't
finals
kicked a
too.
goal for 6 weeks.
And that's the thing, yeah. You like even
It doesn't hurt you.
in that role, if you're doing a really, really good, job defensively, I'm okay if you're not kicking a goal. I can probably cop it if you're not kicking a goal every week if you're doing a fantastic job. But how many weeks did you say? 6?
6, yeah.
That's unacceptable. You cannot be playing in a forward line and not score for 6 weeks.
He kicked a goal. I think he's kicked 3 behinds or something like that.
That's
You've
disgraceful.
got to average close to a goal a game if you're going to be in the forward line, I think. But
yeah, I tend to agree.
But look, I mean, there's promising signs from Geordie Payne, that's for sure. And yeah, look, he's definitely someone worth persisting with for the next couple of weeks. But is he the type of forward, Mark, that we need? Do we? I mean, I think you mentioned today in the group chat that we need a Nick Watson type. I don't know if Geordie Payne brings that. I mean, we've got a lot of these forwards. We've got Zane Dersma playing out of position. There's other players in the VFL that can play as we didn't have Paul Curtis as well. Also,
Braden George is probably similar
Well,
again.
you don't know where his future's at. It's just a lot of these types of forwards, and trying to squeeze them all in, it's going to be very, very difficult, especially because we've got a number of midfielders. There's going to be 1 or 2 resting there as well during the course of the game. It's tough. And there's so much imbalance here. And we've mentioned it numerous.
Zane Dersma's another one.
Yeah, I just mentioned him, and he's playing half back because we've got no choice.
We've got Cooper Harvey kicked 2, and then he goes back.
Yeah.
So there's dozens on. Then that's the problem there with the list management and the tightness for spots. I mean, there's probably no guarantee that Geordie Payne does stay on the list next year purely because they've got so many of these players that are similar. But you look at him and go, it'd be crazy to not have him on the list next year.
I struggle to work out who we're going to cut. I've done it a couple of times, and I really... It's going to be tough. There's going to be someone who goes off that list.
Well, they've already made their mind up about Phillips, obviously. Eddie Ford, they've made their mind up about. There's 2. Callum Coleman-Jones, it looks like it would be... I mean, it's sad because body hasn't given him much of a run, but he's unlikely to stay. I'm not sure Tika will be there next year.
No, I think we spoke about this.
Bergman's in trouble.
Bergman's gone. I think we spoke about it today. They can't keep...
I
don't think they can keep more than one of Finbar, CCJ, and Teagle.
They'll keep one of those 3.
You can't keep 3 of them when they're ruck forwards. Surely you could argue that the other 2 are the backup, but I think surely Goad will be at a physical level next year that if Sherry went down for a couple of games, he'd be able to chop in.
I mean, they've put so much time into Finbar Malley, and he's improved so dramatically.
I'd give him another season.
Yeah,
I'd absolutely.
They'd have to do that for a year.
There's more upside.
Yeah,
he's only
absolutely.
20.
Yeah, over 100%. Give him another year. Get him to keep working on his goal kicking, etc. If in a year's time he hasn't improved at all, or
he can't kick straight. If he can't kick straight in a year, then he's in big trouble.
Why don't they try him down back again? We've got all these players we take as backmen just seem like they're better forwards. I'm talking about obviously Trembath. They tried him down back. I said,
Whitlock's looking like a good forward as well in the VFL. He's looking really dangerous.
They look like natural forwards.
Maybe Will Dawson will be that hard-nosed key defender.
Well, one of them's got to do it.
Well, he might have to do it, yeah. But he looks promising as a key. He did a good job on Sam Darcy.
Yeah, that was enough to go, well, that looks good.
Yeah.
He's still young. Because he was the youngest in his draft, wasn't he?
I think he was. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I believe he was.
I mean, Whitlock and Trembath will be able to play at either end. That's the other benefit of those.
Yeah, because of their marking prowess, absolutely. And Trembath's going to put on size. You can tell that as well.
He's a solid boy already. Yeah.
Whitlock, sure, at most the Whitlock brothers, and I watched a bit of his brother on the weekend. Can I just say, in one of the most disgraceful things I've ever seen on a football field, maybe the most disgraceful act I've seen this year. Jack Whitlock getting a free kick virtually in the goal square would have guaranteed him a goal, and lazy man Rioli just rolls onto it and takes the advantage. That was disgraceful. That was horrible. You got this kid who barely got a touch. He's guaranteed his first goal in football, and Rioli, who can hardly get a kick in the VFL and only came in because of Portelet's injuries, decides to just take it and
do his own thing.
I think he needs to.
So you're being racist, Jesse.
That's a problem.
I was about to say I'm going to get us gonna get us banned.
Yeah, banned off YouTube. So yeah, but
Expect something in the mail.
Oh God!
maybe on your XDMs, check that from Junior Rioli coming up with something. I was going to do out of contract players later, but we did talk about that. So I'll go through each of them, and I'll just get a quick answer. So CCJ, you both said no.
How many?
He's gone.
How many spots do we have to cut in total? Just so I've got
about 7 or 8, I think.
I think it's
And how many-
seven.
7. And how many names have you got?
I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12.
Okay,
Ooh.
all right, I'll keep that in my mind then.
Yeah, so CCJ says no at this stage.
Cut.
I have him in the cut unless we can find a spot for him category. So I wouldn't keep him over some of the others, but we'll see how many we have left over.
Teakle.
Cut.
Out.
Yeah,
Yep.
did his job. Good job. Out.
Cooper Harvey, I've got
Keep.
yes.
In.
Yeah.
Keep.
Cooper Trempath.
Keep.
In.
You don't know with Rawlings.
Don't even joke.
This bloke we have to keep. That's up next. Darcy Tucker.
Out.
If they don't cut him, there's something. I'm changing. I'm getting rid of my membership. That would be the worst of all of the options to re-sign.
Well, he sat next to Geordie Payne when he announced he did his debut, so I'm glad he's alive because he disappeared off the face of the
I
earth.
just assumed that he had crawled back to WA and decided to go do the waffle.
No, he's originally from Victoria. Pretty sure he is.
Is he?
Darcy Tucker.
Oh,
Yeah,
well,
I'm pretty sure
he
he is.
can play
Country Vic.
VFL or country football
Yeah,
or something.
Local footy's fine.
Good luck.
Eddie Ford.
Gone.
Look,
Yeah, he's gone. Yeah.
he's gone. I don't want him to be gone.
No.
He's gone, Jesse. Face it. He's gone.
He looked flat in that video where they announced the debuts of the two kids. I saw him in there.
Yeah, he was standing up.
He wasn't even a North outfit. He was in like a black hoodie.
Yeah, I'm surprised he's.
I
turning
heard he's
up
not
at
even
all. He must
injured.
be so
I
frustrated.
heard they've just told him we don't want you to play.
I don't know. Yeah, look, I'm not privy to any of those rules.
Anyway,
so,
yeah, he's gone.
Yeah, we'll keep moving forward. Finbar Malley, that's a yes from Mark.
Yes.
Yes. How many have we got left? How many spots have we got left though? So we've kept Cooper, and him.
Trembath.
Yeah. So Harvey,
Yeah, so
Trembath,
it's-
and Finbar. That's 3.
So we've delisted 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
3 to go.
Geordie Payne.
Keep.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a yes. Mark.
I'll just hold off.
Callum Dawson.
Gone.
Oh, gone. Yeah.
Miller Bergman.
Gone.
Yeah. Will Phillips.
Gone.
I wish him the best at West Coast.
And Zach Bench.
Gone.
Gone.
So I can bring Geordie Payne back in. That's good. I'll bring him back.
Is Banch the last one?
Yeah, Bench
he's
is the last
gone.
one.
He's gone.
Really?
But hang on. Did you say that there was 12 names and we had to cut 7?
Yeah.
So
7 or 8. So we got rid of 2, 4.
Well, we've only kept 4, haven't we?
We've got rid of 7 so far.
Oh,
Yeah.
so we can keep Banch.
Yeah, you can keep Bench.
But-
That's with Payne, yes, as well.
But how many picks at the draft does that allow us to take?
Oh, do we need any more?
3.
We've already given away our first, so what's the point of getting the second? It's going to be in the 40s.
That gives us 3 at the draft, I think.
Okay, I'm happy with that. I'll keep Banch purely based on that.
I'll keep him too. Yeah, I've seen enough to suggest he deserves another spot.
Unless they can. Well, it depends who they're trying to recruit as well. Don't forget from other clubs.
Recruit. I don't know who's coming to North.
Well, they're trying everyone. They're asking, begging everyone available to come. So.
Surely they've been doing that for a few years now.
Jack Silvani, they're talking to. They're
they won't get in.
Starcevic.
They won't get him.
No, they won't get any of them, but they're going
Well,
to.
They'll try, yeah.
I think the only
Yeah.
clubs offering Starcevic is us and the Bombers, and that's
We
like
might get
that's like
Starcevic.
I think he'll stay. Yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
surely.
I think. Well, these guys, their
Well-
last contracts when they've already got a flag. Sometimes
Did
if
he?
it's
No, he did play
400 grand
yeah.
difference a year, if they're offering him 450, 500, North might offer him 850, 900. So,
for a halfback flanker, I'm not offering that sort of money.
well, we're talking about North. So,
Yeah, I'm sick of getting
I
those
like him
players.
as a player. I think
Yeah,
he's
he's a good
very good
player.
defensively. The issue with him is concussion.
Yeah, he's had a few this year.
we
Hasn't
were
he?
going to offer Maynard an absolute fortune to come.
Yeah,
I don't know if we were.
And he's 42. So,
I don't know if we were. I think that's just PR. Managers trying to get
a bit
more
like the
money for
Jack
their player.
Viney and
Well,
his son,
put
where we pretended we were
this way.
interested.
North have to offer around 200 grand more than any other club to get someone to consider it at the moment, I would have thought.
Yeah, but you don't want to do that to average players.
No, we've already
And I
done
don't want
it.
to hurt the development of other players coming through. So
No, I agree with that. So
We
we,
have to take-
we don't want more Tucker Logue,
No,
Fisher
that's-
type players
no,
coming.
That's
into the
enough. Dylan Stevens, you know.
Oh, I don't mind him. I think he's a good player. I like Dylan Stevens. I think that's been a win. But
I don't think he's anything, you know.
I think it's a win in comparison to the others. That's for sure. Yeah.
No, I like him as a wingman. I think he's going to be a good player for a long time. But Tucker, Fisher, big fails. Logue, maybe he'll come good. I'll give him another crack next year to see how he goes. But it's been disappointing.
I think Logue is okay if he doesn't have to play first or second defender.
I think he's okay if the ball goes in long. Like, and there's a contest.
Yeah,
fine. Like,
he's
he'll
good at the contest. He's just when it
But
gets to the ground, he looks slow and he needs to lose a bit
If
of
you
weight.
ask him to play on someone, he's not accountable for
He
anyone.
needs to get a bit of pace, lose a bit of weight. I just don't.
He's not going to get pace. That's just.
I think his knee cooked him.
He's got as much
I
chance
watched him a
getting
lot.
pace as I have. That's not good. That's just
I watched him a fair bit at Freo, and I liked what I saw. I just
Yeah, I
think
thought
that
he was
knee
good.
injury absolutely cooked him.
The knee Rico's made things
Yeah,
difficult.
they do. It does affect your confidence.
But another
they do.
pre-season, he might be okay next year. So I'll
maybe.
keep an open mind with there. I think. What about the coach? Where do we think Clarko's at in terms of performance as a coaching him and the coaching group?
I said this last week. I much prefer him on the boundary. I much prefer him on the boundary, and I find it absolutely fascinating that the person he's spending his time down there with on the boundary is Michael Barlow.
Yeah, I've noticed that.
fascinating.
He's communicating with him a lot. On that.
Yeah, those two are having like. Because was Michael Barlow even on the bench prior to the last 2 weeks?
He's been on a bench all year. He has been. Yeah.
Okay.
He's been talking to players when they come off for spells.
Interesting. Okay.
I think going into next season now, I think the credits are used up, and I think he's in a situation where next year it'll be good if it happens. It actually has to happen. Otherwise, the pressure on him goes right through the roof in the first half of next year. But I think that might be what he needs. I think Kennett, as much as Kennett's an arsehole, he seemed to understand that Clarkson had to be on edge the whole time to coach at his best. And he had Clarkson under unbelievable pressure the whole time he was coach at Hawthorn. And it seemed to bring out the best in him. As much as he hated Kennett and they didn't get on well, it brought out the best in him a lot of the time. So I wonder if being in this situation, he would know going into year 4 that he can't turn up and start saying we know where we're at and everyone be patient next year. He knows that. They have to start winning 10 plus games next year. Certainly 8 plus. I think 10 plus, 10's a minimum next year. Going to the fourth.
That's a big step up.
Well, there has to be a big step up at some point. They can't crawl their way there over 7 or 8 years. Look, that said, if there's 5 or 6 wins halfway through next year and they end up on 8, that'll be fine. If they get injuries and fall away, but they've got to show signs of where they're going. At the moment, it's a very it hasn't been a very exciting second half of the year. There's been some signs of improvement, but from the Carlton game where I thought, okay, the switch has been flicked. We're going to start seeing where we're heading now. Then we just went backwards again. So I think the start of next year, they need to come out and make a big statement in the first 5 or 6 games. Otherwise, unfortunately, the pressure will get so hot that it's going to become really difficult.
Yeah, I'm almost certain that if we're in the same position next year, or at least even halfway through the year, I think they'll cut Clarko.
I think he'll go close to walking himself if it's in that situation.
Yeah.
But I don't think it will be. I don't actually think that will be the case. I think it might be a good thing for him to believe that'll be the case, and to bring a bit more edge to the way he's coaching them. And that might be naive, but I don't mind the fact he's been very stabilising up till this point, and have been able to sign on players, and the players have been happy at the club, and there's been nothing wrong from a cultural build. And I think they want to play for him, and I thought the effort they showed on Saturday is a good sign of that. But there's we're a level below where we probably should be at this point in time. And part of that's confidence, but part of it he has to take some ownership of, and albeit the Hawthorn stuff saga did not help at all. But I think year 4 there has to be a jump. We can't be doing this in 12 months' time. I mean, it would be unacceptable. So I'm holding the faith, but I'm not confident anymore. I'm worried. Put it that way.
Jesse, I think going into next year, we have to find an identity. And whether that's a more defensive team or an offensive team, we've got to stick with something. That's something that's really probably lacked in his development. That we've been all over the shop. There's been periods where we've tried to go defensive identity. It hasn't worked for a week. Let's just go offensive. It seems like the message is getting a little bit hazy to me, just from the outside. We've got to try and simplify it and find an identity in the off season, and then next year go with it for as long as we can, really. And try and change the culture a bit, because at the moment it stinks, Jesse.
Oh, absolutely. Look, we've been frustrated for that for a number of years, but in particularly, I think we were all expecting to see a game style, and we're probably the only club in the AFL, maybe the only other one being West Coast, where I can't see a defined game plan.
Well, West Coast is improving, actually.
Well, they were good on the week.
They've had 1 week. They've been pretty ordinary there for a number of
True,
weeks.
but you're right. That's the biggest frustration. Is it's hard to see where we're going when it doesn't look like the players know either.
No, that looks like the case to me. Is the players don't know where we're going, and we just don't look dynamic enough. I appreciate that we are starting to try a few things, I like the fact that Powell's on the wing. I know he didn't have a big game on the weekend, but I actually prefer the fact that he's on the wing, and I think I was calling that for the last 2 months. So, and not just me. I'm not trying to sound like Nostradamus here. There was a million other fans who were calling out that Powell looks better on the outside as well, and I think he looks significantly better on the outside than he does on the inside. That's just my thoughts on him, and the thoughts of a lot of people. So I liked that he played on the outside, because I think he's got the attributes to do so. I liked that, we've now played a few kids. The ones that are weird for me is O'Sullivan CBAs.
I think he had 5 on the weekend.
5, and I think they were all in the last quarter.
Yeah.
It's a bit weird that they're not giving him more of an opportunity, and yet to see McKercher get a go in the middle. And
McKercher looks ready for the middle, doesn't he?
He looks ready for something. Where I just they're kind of. I know it's a bit of a catch-22. We move him out the back line, and all of a sudden we're not going to be as dynamic coming out of that back line, and we're going to really struggle. But I mean, you could swap him and Cheezel around every so often and give them a bit of a break from hard contested footy. But
put Gota back there next year. The other thing is, if he gets any chance forward of the centre, he nails a goal every time. That bloke, he's unbelievable on the run.
Yeah, he kicked another goal on the weekend. I think I'm not too worried if he plays halfback flank next year, but if he plays halfback, you've probably got to get rid of Caleb Daniel.
Please,
as well. Yeah, because they're both not very
good
defensively.
I said this about Daniel last week, and he's still getting all the kick-ins. I don't like that. Yeah. There was one kick he had inside 50 last week, and a kick inside 50 this week where it was like a laser pointer onto the chest of, it might have even been Trenbath, to be honest, but I think it was
I don't think it was Trenbath.
No, maybe it was Geordie Payne. There was an absolute laser pass by him. I think it was Geordie Payne, actually.
Yeah, it was.
Why don't we play Daniel on the wing?
Oh, no.
Because he's too slow. I don't know. That's the only thing I could think of. Or even half forward.
Or even half forward and swap him around with,
I don't know. Jeez.
His kicking is still an attribute, and he does add some experience. I just, as I said, the main thing that I think, he struggled, that Kingy called out on the podcast he did that he's running out, and then our forwards refuse to get within 70 meters of him, so he just bombs it long. And our forwards do not come far enough forward. That is absolutely truth. They do not, like, when we bomb it long to try and get it out, it's usually to Tristan. Like, where are the forwards? They can come up the ground and actually try and take the kick.
Larky does a bit of hard work running up the ground.
Larky does. The rest are just all lazy half the time. But
they need Finbar to do some work for them.
Well, yeah, he might be one who can roam up the ground and do what he needs to do.
He's got the tank. He's got the tank for it. He's actually one of the better runners at the club, so he'd be capable of doing it.
Maybe he can play wing next year, mate.
Oh, crops.
Matthew Richardson did that in the last couple of years of his career. So he played on a wing and started getting 30 touches a game. So,
might not have the pace, but I don't know what to think with Daniel. I find it frustrating watching it, but I don't want to be. He's been far from our worst player this year. It's just it's watching him defensively I find hard to deal with, but and I think he's got one of the hardest jobs in the AFL is trying to distribute the ball out of North's backline at the moment. Because the options aren't there enough.
No, they're not.
So they need to fix it. The connection is a problem still, and that's been a problem for 5 years. So coming out of our back line, I don't know how long we've been talking about. We've been talking about that for as long as we were talking about keeping the ball on our forward line. Yeah. It's the same issues, and they just still haven't found. I mean, I disagree with Dean. All I want to see is an identity, and I think David King's been talking about it for about 5 years too. What's their brand? What's it going to be? When are we going to see it?
It's time to happen next year. It's got to happen round one.
It has to happen. Whatever North Ball's going to be, as they were calling it a couple of years ago, we've got to see it, and they've got to stick with it. Because they keep saying they're sticking with it, but then, well, hold on, no, you're not. Now you've got this. Now we're defensive. Now we're leaking 130 points again. Like, it goes backwards and forwards, as you said. So I think that's the frustration for most people. I think you've nailed it there. Hopefully it changes.
Speaking of worst players, I don't think there's one worse than this next guy I'm going to name. Bailey Scott, Jesse.
Oh, my God. I didn't even think about him. All we were doing was complaining about Constantine and stuff. I completely forgot that Bailey Scott played. He's terrible.
He's probably one of the worst. He's fallen off a cliff. Like, I haven't seen anyone fall off a cliff like this in the space.
Cliff, he's jumped from the moon and landed on the planet. Like,
I think he just needs the season to end and start again. He's too good a player to keep playing like that. I
think he's done.
Oh, he's been doing it all year, though. That's the problem.
Yeah, I know, but he hasn't lost his ability as a footballer. He's just completely lost his confidence. You can get that back. I mean, he's finished top 5 in BNFs multiple times. He's been a very good wingman for us. I'm not prepared to give up on him. His season's been absolutely horrendous, and I'm sure he's really flat about the way he's played. But he's too young for that to be it. I mean, for whatever reason, and we don't know. Like, maybe he's been carrying an injury all year, or he needs an operation. I don't know, but it's been. I don't think I can remember seeing someone's confidence be lost that badly for a long time.
That's like he's almost forgotten how to play football, Jesse. He's probably been one of the worst players in the AFL this year, and that's
absolutely.
He's struggled in the VFL.
Yeah, he hasn't set the world on fire. That's for sure.
No,
he was terrible. He should not play until he's absolutely ripping it up in the seconds. He shouldn't play. And I think
that's for his own sake.
Did he play on the wing when he played? Like, what position did he play?
He went forward because we did the sub early. Obviously, Hardman got the concussion. He went forward, then he went on a wing. Then I've seen him in half back for a period, and he was just all over the place, just trying to get a kick. I think he was chasing kicks like you do in under 10s, under 12s football, and he wasn't getting anywhere near it.
Yeah, it's a pity because he's been a good player. So I hope he gets it back.
Yeah, it's just I don't know.
Is he contracted?
Yeah,
he is contracted for another year.
Yeah, okay. He's got some time.
Well, and the problem is he has no currency. So even if we wanted to trade him, we'd have to pay a club to take him.
No, he's not going to get picked up based on the current form. It's not going to happen.
He wasn't going to get picked up when he was in form.
Well, I think Gold Coast were keen.
God, he wouldn't get a game cleaning the boots of a Gold Coast player at the moment.
Not now. No one's going to be keen now. When he came third in our BNF, they were looking at him.
Yeah, yeah. I think I think the main problem he's got is that I don't. This is just one for me personally. I don't think you can play him and Stevens in the same team.
Why?
That's just-
Dylan Stevens. I thought he said Stevenson. So, I
Oh, don't get me started on him.
Why couldn't you play them both if they're both in form?
I'm
one-way
just.
players, you think, or no?
I just don't think that they're dynamic enough. I think you need at least one A grade midfielder, and I don't. Winger, and I don't see either of them as being A grade, having A grade talent. I think they're good runners. I don't think either of them are particularly good kicks. Probably Stevens is a better kick than Bailey, but Bailey's able to accumulate the ball better, and he's better defensively. I just think if we want to be a serious football club, I think that there's better players out there,
Yeah, okay.
and we need to find some more
They're not
talent.
coming to North.
No, we need to.
Oh, well,
find them.
you got to develop your own. I mean, we've had all these draft picks.
I still rate both those players, and they're both young. So I'm confident they'll. Bailey has to turn it back around, but I'd be happy. I could see them both playing in final sides.
I think they're good role players.
26,
It's just whether or not
27.
you can. It's whether or not you can just keep both of them is probably my only thing.
Yeah.
But you are right. If both of them are playing in form right now, they both are in the team right now. I agree with that. I just think long term you probably want more of an A grader on one of the wings.
Well, I mean, Fino Sullivan is probably
Yeah.
more what you're thinking, but
Yeah,
which is
yeah,
fair
that-
enough. I can understand that.
Yeah, that's probably more my thoughts around having that. He's just a different type.
He's a
But,
class above, yeah.
But it is a massive shame. It is a massive shame with Bailey because I quite liked Bailey Scott. Seemed like a ripping guy.
He's not finished yet. He's got another year left. He'll give him some. We'll see what happens after pre-season. He needs to spend a lot of time on the psychologist's couch.
I think a whole North Melbourne listener needs to do that.
And their
Mark, I
supporters.
think it's gone past that.
And the club should pay for help for the supporters. There should be like a GoFundMe or something for us.
Oh no, there'll be a class action next year if we're still sitting here going through this. Cool.
Mark, I want to talk to you. Jesse, I got your thoughts on Tom Powell earlier. 0 CBAs, only 11 touches. You're talking about wingers. He's been phased out of the midfield the last few weeks. Where do you think he is at the moment?
He's not where I thought he'd be in his first year with us, that's for sure.
Do you think midfield? Do you think he can go back into midfield next year, or do you think they're pretty much?
Well, I think they're planning for McKercher and Finn O'Sullivan to start spending time in there. So I think that's why they're trying to work out where we're going to play him next year. And I don't think it's an easy answer but wing's definitely an opportunity for him, and he's a class player with the ball. So I think he personally wants to be a midfielder. I don't think he ever seems happy when he's pulled away from the midfield. But wings, potentially that's a position that he could make his own. But I think his time in the midfield might be reduced. I mean, look, Parker's not going to be there forever. So, I don't know. I just get the feeling McKercher and Finn O'Sullivan are going to start spending more time there.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Jesse, we had the future midfield. I feel like round 1, 2026, I should say. Sherry, LDU, they had 32 CBAs each. George Wardlaw, 26. Harry Sheasel, 25. I mean, that's your main four, I think, going into next year. Mark has mentioned Finn O'Sullivan.
Mm-hmm.
He thinks he'll go in there for spells next year as well. Luke Parker, you're still going to have him next year. Hopefully not too many CBAs. He had 20 on the weekend. I'd like to see that reduced. And you want to see McKercher go in there for a bit of an X factor, a bit of leg speed. Do you see that as a midfield next year? I mean, Will Phillips is gone as well.
Yeah, I do. I see what. It's interesting. Wardlaw was the highest rated player for North on the ground.
He worked really hard.
That's player rating. Supercoach, I think he was, or Champion Data, I think he was second or third. Just because of his defensive efforts. What did he have? 10 tackles?
Yeah, he did. Yeah,
he looked a lot.
He was a lot more careful with his head. I noticed,
and his kicking was a bit cleaner as well. There was that one lace out.
Great kicking.
Yeah, his kicking was.
He gave Payne his goal.
Yeah, that was him. Yep, that was him. Yeah, look, I think that Sheasel, Wardlaw, and LDU are probably the right mix.
Urquhart's the one they'll groom as a defensive midfielder over time.
Yeah, I think you've got to have some depth in that area, and you might as well play someone like him rather than keep Phillips on the list. The hard one for me, I agree. Parker should be realistically getting no more than 1 or 2 CBAs a quarter, maybe 3 max. It shouldn't be, 20 odd or whatever. Yeah, that's way too much.
They haven't had a choice in the last 5 rounds because he's the one showing the most leadership on the ground.
He is. I completely agree. He's got the most grunt. The others, he has the most grunt. And he has the most fight and the ability to win the ball. I've got no issue with him being in there at the moment.
He's protecting the kids as well as they develop and have more
Yeah.
time in there.
Yeah, it's more of a next year. Ideally, that reduces because the kids are able to take a step. Like I said earlier, you definitely want to get O'Sullivan in there more, and I think we want to get McKercher in there, or we should want to McKercher.
Is it my imagination, or does McKercher look stronger in the contest now than he did even at the start of the year?
It seems to have gotten a wake-up call. Look, I remember talking to you guys probably first 6 to 8 weeks when we were struggling, that he probably should have been out of the team. He was going that.
He had 1 or 2 really poor weeks. I think it's funny. He after Tristan, he's our leading player for coaches' votes this year.
Yeah,
that's incredible, isn't it? And I think 2 of those were in his first patch as a forward. There was that one game where he kicked against Richmond, I think. Where
he'll be top 5 in the BNF for sure.
Yeah, he's actually had a pretty good year, especially once he went down back. But I think that stint he did as a wing, well, no, not as a wing. We never played him as a wing, as a half forward. Has actually taught him a fair bit. And there was that game against Richmond. I think he had like 10 tackles or 8 tackles or something, and he kicked 2 goals. Yeah, I think that's helped grow him a little bit. I just think if you threw him in there for 1 game in the midfield, he'd absolutely cook. I just think he would. That's just my take on it. I reckon he would absolutely tear the thing to shreds. I think he's a natural mid, but it's getting him in there. And look, you reduce Parker's a little bit next year. That allows you to get O'Sullivan in there a little bit more. McKercher. It probably just means that LDU, Wardlaw, and Sheasel, probably more LDU and Wardlaw, and Sheasel, don't have as many CBAs, but they should both be able to play for some forward time as well. They should all be able to do some forward time. The name we haven't mentioned at all is Jai Simpkin.
Yeah, I was about to bring him up next.
I had a long, hard think about this today because I was also getting pretty annoyed about LDU after the game just because he hasn't had a great year, and it makes me, second guess not having the kids in there and what we're doing. I don't know what we do with Jai. I tried to plan out my team for next year and what it would look like, and I don't have him on the field, and he's meant to be the captain.
Maybe not next year.
He won't be captain next year, Jesse. I think we've got to move past that.
You reckon he won't be captain next year?
No, I don't think he will be. And I think it's...
So he's only been captain... This is his first year, isn't it?
Sole captain. No, isn't this the second or third?
First year as sole captain.
Sole captain, but he's been dual captain with Luke.
He's still pretty young, I reckon. I think he should give it up. I agree. I think he should give it up. I'm not saying it should necessarily go to Sheasel, but like right now. But I don't have any. I think that Jai would be much better if he was playing in a team where he could be a genuine midfielder 50% of the time, at least. And he should not be getting a CBA in the North Melbourne midfield because that's not our weak spot. Now, he started the year really well, getting limited midfield time and playing as a half forward. But the problem is that our forward line structure is just not right because we didn't have enough forwards. The same as we don't have enough backmen. We have midfielders everywhere. We need more genuine people in their position. I think that's one of our big weaknesses.
I mean, Harry Sheasel, first-time captain, Mark. Now, I think there's going to be a change of captain. I think it's best for Jai Simpkin if he stays at the club. I think it's a lot less pressure on him. He seems to be carrying a lot of weight when he is captain, and especially when the things are going against the team. He feels like he needs to really step up and starts giving away stupid free kicks and turns the ball over and so forth. So I think it'll be best for him and get the best out of his football. I don't mind going with Harry Sheezel. He's the best player at the club. He is the future of your club. He's got a good head on his shoulders. He's respected by his fellow players.
Thoughts on getting Sheezel to share it with Larky?
Look,
I'm not big on joint captains,
I mean,
but
he'll get
Larky
a lot of
seems
help
to be
anyway.
less affected by the pressure.
I don't think they'll go dual captains again.
Well, then do they go Larky with Sheezel Vice?
I think Cherry's just as much chance as anyone to be captain.
Well, I would put Cherry in the leadership. I'll tell you who needs to be in the leadership group. If we can just touch really, really quickly, and I'm sorry to pivot, but you've struck my memory with leadership. Charlie Comden. That one moment on the weekend made me as equally happy as Trembath's 3 goals. The fact that when Dersma somehow got put one out on Cadman, which is obscene, and Cadman on a lace-out kick to Cadman, and Dersma just looked absolutely distraught, like, oh shit, I've just let the team down because I couldn't defend against an absolute power forward. And kudos to Logan Comden, mostly Comden. Logan went over there, put his hand on his back, and then just showed him a few defensive things. I don't know where Logan's giving defensive advice, but the thought counts.
Yeah.
And then Comden goes over, puts his arm around him, and really supported him for a good 2-3 minutes there, because you could just tell that he was flat. And he went around there, and you can see, Dersma, nod his head a few times, and then he got a few possessions after that. He got a couple marks in the back line, was able to do a couple good kicks. I think that absolutely helped. That is leadership material.
He's been brought right into the fold in terms of the culture, and with Clarkson, there's something's changed with Dersma, definitely.
Yeah,
Dersma.
I think they're worried about losing him. I reckon he had a heart-to-heart with the coaching group or the players, etc. And I reckon Clarko said to him, if you want to leave because you're not getting game time, we will play. We promise that we will play you. We won't drop you based on form. We will play you, but you're playing down back. We're gonna give you an opportunity to get the ball, but you have to prove that that we're doing. Because at the same time, you're not just going to keep it like you. You can't be held hostage by your player because they're not playing well, and then they leave because you're not giving him game time. I think we've done the right thing by him long term and said we will play you, build, and give you an opportunity. And so I reckon that conversation has happened because he looks genuinely disappointed when he makes a mistake. Like,
I
some
think
players
told
are
him, but he used to not give a rat's ass. So
No.
something's changed.
He genuinely
they've told
cared.
him to change they've told him to change. You're not going anywhere, but you're going to change your attitude. I think I reckon there's been some hard conversations with him. But the result of that is as you said, we're going to give you a run, but you're going to change your attitude and you're going to start acting like you want to be here. And then Clarko's probably had a word to a few of the more experienced guys there, including people like Comben, about what support he will need and what feedback he needs out on the ground. Because I reckon the feedback towards him has probably been harsh.
I agree.
And they've probably, the Clarkson said, that's not working for this guy. We need to put our arm around him a little bit. So they've probably had some hard conversations with him, but at the same time, his perceived arrogance might be his way of protecting himself a bit, and he's probably been lacking a bit of confidence, even though he doesn't come across as that sort of person. So there's something's definitely changed in the way they're managing him as a person versus what it looked like 3 or 4 weeks ago, even. So I think that's great. And by the way, I think that's awesome.
Yeah, I have to completely agree with you. I think that they've had a conversation there, and that look, kudos to him, because at least his first 2 weeks, I thought he was okay on the weekend. I thought the 2 weeks prior he didn't do a hell of a lot down back, and that was a bit of a worry. But they've kept by him. I think they've said, we want to invest in you. We see what you can be long term, and we are prepared to I don't want to say give you games, but we are prepared to stand by you and
Develop you in the same.
and develop you. But you're going to play down back. You're going to learn some new things, and that's just the reality of it. And I think he's
He's
trying to buy
also
into that.
patting other people on the back and encouraging other
No, he
players
is.
as well. So he looks like he's now engaged. Would be the word.
I've
He
noticed
wasn't
as well that on all of the social media posts and stuff like that, like when the two kids got named to debut, he posted on his Instagram that they were playing and he was excited for them. And I think when Trembath posted a post today, thank you North Melbourne so much for giving me this opportunity. It was an absolute dream come true getting to play my first game on the weekend. Like he commented on it. I think he
Yeah,
cares.
so he's part of the club now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
he's
think.
So that's where you go. Clarko knows what he's doing. In that area, that's where his value really does show. I just think maybe, given the conversation tonight about like the identity and the game style, maybe that's not him anymore. Maybe he does need like another young coach in waiting, one of the top line assistant coaches in the AFL. Maybe we need that more than any player, is someone like that that's going to bring something to the coaching group and help Clarko in an area where he's struggling now. Because
Possibly,
not Fagan. That's not Fagan's strength either. He's got other people there that help him. He's a player manager. And other people focus on the game style stuff. Now he understands it and he's across it, of course, but that's doesn't necessarily have to be your strength. You can't be all things anymore. But Clarkson can manage players and he can manage culture. So maybe that's what's needed more than anything. Finding one's another matter.
Yeah, full credit to the individual. I don't know what they've done. We obviously don't know what they've done, but he has changed a lot. I remember watching him in the reserves probably 4 or 5 weeks ago, and he's putting his hands up, complaining pretty much the whole game, playing on the wings. So, yeah, he's definitely changed his attitude, and that's the most important thing. So
that's exciting.
Yeah, look, I mean, just on round 1, 2026, Jesse, where does he line up?
Oh, look, I still think that his most talent is ahead of the ball in terms of his marking prowess, his ability. He's generally a pretty good on the deck, and he's a pretty good shot at goal. Generally, I liked watching him in the midfield in that midfield game he had. We kind of looked like Nate Fyfe, and respect to the GOAT who's bowed out today.
Yeah, definitely.
I reckon he'll look like Jack Gunston next year.
That's not a bad player comp.
I reckon he's going to do the biggest preseason ever seen, and he's going to bring running ability to go with his talent next year. And I think Clarkson. And Clarkson's mentioned Gunston when talking about him.
Yeah, he's done that deliberately.
Yeah, but I think that's a good. I think that's a good fit. I think that's a good example. But Gunston's one of the best runners in the AFL. He's a freak athlete, Gunston. The amount of Ks he does a game is unbelievable. He runs you into the ground, a bit like Nick Riewoldt used to do. So he needs a huge preseason work-wise, and if he does that, I reckon he'll be a great asset next year.
Well, I heard this was a number of weeks ago that he'll need a shoulder.
Not
surgery.
Again.
Yeah, in the off season. That's what I've heard. I don't know if it's going to happen. So yeah, I'm not too sure what his preseason is going to look like if he does get that surgery.
Well, he'll be able to run. They'll get him back running quick enough.
Or he might be like what's that English cricketer, Chris Wokes.
That was a bizarre that
yeah. Oh, it almost came off. We'll move forward to the reserves. We'll just quickly go over this. Lost by 12 points, which ends their season. Matt Whitlock played well up forward, kicked 2 goals, 3. Missed a couple fairly easy ones. Finbar Melly, 3 goals, Mark. So you must be very excited about that. Yes. Will Phillips, dominant, 22 touches, 10 tackles, 10 clearances. I guess the big one here is, and you mentioned it last week, Jesse, Taylor Goad, 20 touches, 34 hit-outs. He's had a really good couple of weeks, 6 marks, 8 clearances as well. He's developed quite well this year in the VFL, hasn't he?
He has. He's come a long way from where he was at. I think, I don't want to say people were worried about him, but
they were.
I think people were worried about him. Yeah. And he's
unnecessarily this early on.
Yeah, it's too early,
yeah.
Yeah, I think he's come a long way. There's still a lot of work he's got to do, but yeah, he was probably our best player on the weekend. I thought, in terms of his ability to win, he gets a lot of disposal. He's able to win the clearance. He kicks goals now. I think the $1 million question is how do we get him in? Like, assuming
He
that
has
he's
to be able to
physically
play
fit.
forward. He has to. He has to play.
he
Be
has
able
to
to
be
play
like
forward.
Luke Jackson. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. I agree. I agree. He
This is-
has to.
Or wait for injuries, and he's not going to want to do that.
No,
So,
he'll leave before that happens.
yeah, they've got to develop his forward craft.
Yeah, I think they've got to develop. Yeah, I think they've got to develop his forward craft.
And with
But-
that speed, surely there's potential for him because he's the quickest player at the club.
It does mean that Tristan will also have to keep working on his forward craft because
Yes.
But I think he's shown that he can be pretty damaging up forward when he needs to be.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
it gives us good confidence that we can sort of move past like a Brent Teakle and CCJ, who plays in the 26, 27 years old. Their best is behind them with Taylor Goads showing growth. He's only 19 still, I think. And yeah, I think a good player comp is a Luke Jackson type where he plays forward. When Darling sort of maybe middle of next year, Darling might be out of the team, getting a bit too old. And Taylor Goad can come in with Cooper Trenbath, Nick Larkey. That's what you want as your probably three pillars as forwards. And then Goad can help out in the ruck and pinch it in the ruck.
You're writing off Jack Darling, mate.
Middle next year. He can't jump. He can't jump over a Coke can at the moment. To be fair, I mean he's got a lot of footy smarts and he's very strong.
Yeah.
So he's well worth 10, 15 games next year, but there'll be opportunity for Goad. You're right.
Yeah, I mean, if you got 18 months out of Jack Darling, I think that's a pretty good result, Jesse. I mean, he's 33. His best is behind him. Like he's lost his athleticism.
Didn't he sign a 3-year contract?
Oh God, did he? No, I think it's a trigger for a third, which will probably hit because.
Oh my!
Aiden Core hit his trigger.
Yeah,
just please.
Yeah. One of these triggers.
I don't know what that to me is bizarre that we would have offered someone at his age 3 years. Well, they'll have to just stop playing him then to make sure he doesn't hit the trigger. That's the only thing to do.
Oh, I'm not too sure. Yeah,
I'm not. I don't. That's no criticism of Jack Darling. He's been fantastic, but the second year makes sense. The third year, that seems bizarre.
He's going to be 34.
Well, he'll be 35.
35,
yeah. 35, looking like he's 45 in terms of his body. But he looks like he's in his last, 2 years now. Absolutely does. You can't even picture it. Anyway, he'll be able to help out in the VFL for that season if that's the case. That's okay, coaching. But that was always the plan. His third year will be on the list, but it'll be more as an assistant coach. Maybe that's fair enough.
As long as he's not on 600,000 that last year, if he's on minimum money, fine. He can sit in the reserves and work with.
Well, that's probably why he came, because he was going to earn 500 or 600 grand in that third year as a coach. That's good. That's a good deal, isn't it? We're being generous. Anyway, it is what it is. It's fine.
Yeah. It definitely is. Now, moving ahead to the Richmond game. Jesse, is this a must-win this week? Are you putting a lot of pressure on us to get the win?
I can't believe that we went from me thinking we were a sure thing against Melbourne, St Kilda and Richmond to me thinking we might not win them all. Richmond probably went on par as we did with the Saints. The one thing I will say, all right, is... And I've made a point of this every week. Kingy made a point of this. I think it is worth making a point of. We were the youngest team by age on the weekend and the second youngest by experience. West Coast was younger than us on experience, but on age, we were the youngest by point. We were 24.1. West Coast was 24.3.
Imagine if we had no Darling or bloody these other guys.
And then Carlton, GWS, and Essendon were all 25.1. So, yeah, look, Giants weren't that much older or experienced than us. Kudos to them. That's fantastic. Where do you think Richmond was?
They're actually a lot older than...
Sixth oldest team in the comp.
Yeah.
But it goes Collingwood is 20. So Collingwood 29.7. Hawthorn 26.7. 3 years younger. I've never seen anything like that. Geelong 26.6, Sydney 26.4, Western Bulldogs and Richmond 26.1.
Yeah.
Well, they got
So-
those Boston.
And on
Nank
experience, they 105.2 games. That puts them top 5 or 6 in the comp as well. It's an absolute lie. It's an absolute lie saying that they're yes, they are rebuilding, but they've got half a freaking team there.
Yeah, they've got
I
a lot
think-
of kids.
I think they'll be, in 2 years' time, a lot of these older blokes will be out.
Yeah, and then it's
and-
really depending on these kids who they've
Yeah, and if
literally just
some of
brought
them
on.
don't come through, then you're going to be stuck near the bottom like we have been through.
Well, even if they
through
do
time.
come through, they won't be at their peak. They'll be 20.
No.
So, anyway. But yeah, we need to bloody win this week. Christ.
Yeah.
We-
But
we
I
don't-
mean, what's the reasoning behind that, Mark? I mean, round 1 next year, we go in fresh. I don't think anyone's going to remember a round 22 game against. Richmond.
It's just the supporters need some nourishment, Dave. It's not,
Oh, good.
Have you noticed that during the commentary,
they're
one of the
talking about
commentators
nourishment, I know.
mentioned nourishment 4
Yeah,
times? That is on
yeah.
purpose. He's taking the piss out of us.
When McKercher kicked a goal, I talk about
Bit
there's
of
some
nourishment.
Yeah,
Bit of nourishment.
It must have been a joke in the commentary box.
Oh,
Any-
100% it is.
But yes, look, I agree with you. If we lose this week, it means nothing for next year. It means absolutely nothing. It's just what has been a very depressing season for the supporters gets worse. It would just be nice to give us a win before the season ends. I don't think it really makes any difference. It'll put more pressure on Clarko going into the off season. I think it'd be nice for the players to get another win before the year ends as well. That said, it won't be the end of the world. It won't mean anything in 2026. But yeah, I think it's relatively important for them to finish off well and get a win. But yeah, it's more for I don't know for everyone's state of mind than anything else.
Fair enough. What about you, Jesse? You similar thoughts that we
Oh,
must
we
win,
need some
or-
nourishment.
or nourishment, whatever you want to call it.
Well, we're not going to win the last game. I don't think Adelaide's going to almost.
Well,
drop
West
one
Coast
again.
almost beat.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen again.
No, well, that could be.
No, that's a wake up
pound.
call.
Yeah, that's a pound.
We have to win. And we have to win well. And the problem is that, Curtis comes back. That makes a massive difference. Obviously, Sherry's back. That makes a massive difference. No Larky is going to hurt because he would be pretty damaging against them. Surely Pink gets the job on Lynch again. Did a good job on him last time. Look, we should still be able to match them around the midfield. Our defense should do a pretty good job on them, I would have thought. Where they got us last time is they just intercepted every single ball for the second and the third quarter because we stopped running it. We kept bombing it long. I guess the one thing with this forward line is we can bomb it long less because there's no Larky to bomb it long to. So it does force us to be a little bit more dynamic. Look, for mine, we have to win. We have to win just for their own sanity and for a little bit of justification. I mean, 5.5 wins is still terrible, but at least it's 5.5 wins.
It sounds better than 4.5.
If we finish at 4.5, that's grim.
At least it feels like a step forward then, like on the previous year.
Yeah.
It does.
As bad as it's been, at least it's a step forward. I think, look, we'll have to wait and see. I think they should win anyway. I don't think our form's that bad.
Who's favourite? Has anyone looked at the?
I haven't looked that far ahead.
Probably pretty even, I'd say.
I'd say would be just favourite, but it wouldn't be
We're
much.
hot favourites.
Oh, really?
$1.55 to $2.47.
That'll come in. I think Richmond will come in by the end of the week. So
based on the number of supporters they got.
Well, it's at Ninja Stadium. So last game for us there.
Oh, God, I'm sure there'll be a real turnout from the Tassie faithful to say goodbye for the one club. I think the Tigers are going to play there next year for a couple of games, make $20 million.
Is that our last game there, is it?
Yeah.
As far as, the Tasmanian deal. So, next year we go, we just play 2 games in Perth again. So we do that for the next couple of years. We say goodbye to Tassie.
2 more
Well,
games.
we might go back there. Who knows if they can't get a stadium deal. So
No, we won't be back there now.
No, I don't think so either. Anyways, boys, I think I've held you long enough, I should say. I'll learn this English language one day. Jesse, any final messages out there?
No, not for me, mate. We'll see how we go, and hopefully Trent Musk kicks another 5.
Yeah, I've got high hopes for him this week.
Hopefully he'll get the Rising Star nod this week, as in not this week because he missed it this week. They gave it to some other spud, but next week maybe if he kicks 10, they'll notice.
They might consider it.
Oh
yeah.
God.
He's more likely to get suspended for doing a proper tackle or something like that. So.
He's a real gentleman-looking guy. He doesn't look like he's got a bad bone in his body.
No, not yet.
Did you both watch him in the interview he did with?
Not yet. No,
With,
I've
what's
seen
his
that.
name?
I haven't had a chance to watch that yet.
That was a great interview. I enjoyed.
Okay, I'll watch that.
I enjoyed it more than of all like the fan podcasts I've watched over the years in terms of when they've been able to get a player and that on there. Other than this one, obviously, Dan, I'm talking about the others.
No, trust me, I'm not offended. Yeah.
Of the others, like I thought Marnie's with David King was obviously very, very good, but I liked this one because it was raw. It was straight off him being effectively recruited, and it was just really down to earth. And the fact that he gave up his time as a new footballer on a really busy week to talk for a good 40 minutes about his life, what it means, what the changes are, what he was doing. It was just, and he spoke really, really well for a young kid. So, I really, it was just, it's worth watching for, or listening to, or watching, whatever you want to do for anyone who hasn't.
No, I thought you were talking about over the weekend. No, the Further North podcast.
I thought that's what you meant. Sorry. Well.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a good listen and one worth listening to. You'll have to go back a few weeks now, but it was like you said, Jesse, he was very raw and you could see how much it meant to him and how life changing it was. Even though it might have only been for 6 months, that's not going to be 6 months. It's going to be a long time.
If he doesn't get another one, I'll burn the club down.
We'll go see Brady Rawlings at his house. Yeah,
he won't have a job in 6 weeks.
I don't know. Yeah, we'll talk about that in the coming weeks. Anyways, Mark, thanks so much for coming on. You still there, Mark? Or have you left?
He's going to go watch that podcast, I'm thinking.
He's left us. Jesse, thanks so much for coming on. Really appreciate it, mate.
Thank you.
He'll probably chat next week.
No, thanks for having me.
No worries. And thanks to all you listeners for listening, tuning in tonight, whatever platform you listen to. Anyways, I'll be back tomorrow. I should be able to get a couple of AFW players on tomorrow. So look out for that. Like, subscribe, tell your mates, wives, mistresses about it. That's it from me. Bye for now and go Roos.